Hello. So, what we have here is kind of messy because I made a bit of a mess. I have fenced off the drawing area from the rest of the page, so I have areas to test my pen or brush, but also we'll keep the drawing clean. Hopefully today I will smudge it a little less. You can see I was remembering how ink works. And also the ink does not dry super fast on this Bristol, so good to know. It sits on top, which is fine. It looks really good when it's dry, but it does take a while to dry. So I'm just gonna tweet about this and then we will get going. All right, I tweeted. I will post it a couple other places. Okay. Hey there. Thanks for your patience. Please feel free to say hi in the chat. So, as you can see, got a little smudged. So what I want to do is try and pull it together, but also add a lot of texture and interest, and also try and get this done in a reasonable amount of time. High goals. I mean, really my main goal is I would like to warm up my arm for my freelance work. So I brought my trusty Aquash water brush. Right now it's got slightly diluted India ink in it, or not India ink, Sumi ink in it. So it's a little gray compared to the nib. That's something that's easily correctable in, like, after I scan an image. So I'm not super worried about it. But what I am worried about is how long this stuff takes to dry on the page. It's quite a while, so that's what made it so easy for me to smudge it last time, as I really underestimated that time. So I think what I'll do is I'll save my black spotting for last, because it's just going to be big blobby messes that I'm just going to, you know, smear all over the page with the side of my hand. Which means that we're going to go back to the dip pen. So...
Streaming?
I'm streaming.
I stream.
It's Megan. She also streams. You should follow her. It's Megan Carter. She does Godslave. And now she's going to get to work, her part of the studio. All I can say is at least I'm not blasting a bunch of power metal for everybody to see. Alright. Got my dip pen. I've already clogged up the reservoir. Good work. So, dip pens have this little space right there. As I understand it, it's important we keep that space open. There we go. That helps it flow better. So I have a few nibs. They're all, I think, hunt, except for one speedball. And so they all are very fine. Some of them are more expressive than others. This one is very, very fine. It's almost fully fixed width. I can get a slightly heavier line if I'm really careful. So what I want to do is probably try and pick things like the focal point. And try and remember to work from top left to bottom right and not end up with my pen in the wet ink again. So the last time I used nibs, I was doing these really fun landscape studies. I'm trying to remember everything I learned while I was doing that. Easier said than done. It's interesting because the place I want my light seems to be very different than the place I want it when I'm using pencil. Is that still good for you guys? Bam. Let's try that. Because this paper, I think because of the finish, it's actually really shiny. And it's been reflecting the light back in my eyes. It's like a glare. It's not a thing I knew was a risk. Would this be better if I brought this guy in closer so you could see more of the detail I'm doing? Let me try that. I want you guys to just be like, well, she's definitely drawing something. Just gonna clean off my pen so that I don't get it clogged up while I'm adjusting the camera. All right, bear with me for a second here. Is that a little bit better? I'll try that. All right, back at it. Just adjusting my chair. So my instinct usually is to just jump around and pull the whole image up together, but the amount of smudging I did last time by doing that makes me not want to do that. I didn't really ruin anything that can't be fixed, but it'd be nice to avoid, if possible. So I'm just going to try and bring this image up slowly over the course of the whole image. Though it is, I am realizing I'd better go in with the black spotting sooner. I'm going to give the whole image a nice gray hatching treatment and then be like, oh, right, value. So, yeah, so I'm going to do that. And then we'll get to the working in the shadows. Clean off my nib a bit, because you don't want it to be clogging up. I think that would super suck. So I just use damp paper towel, split it to try and make sure I get all of the extra ink out of there. Yeah, see, I'm still pulling ink out of that reservoir. All right. It's looking pretty good. All right. Brush pen time. Okay. And for the feet. Alright. Time for the wing. Oh Lord. Alright. Hmm. See, wet smudge. Hmm. I'm not totally sure if you can see this. And I'm not totally sure if this is still running. How we do? Oh, my phone thinks it's all good. Sorry if there was a streaming glitch. Yeah. Well, should even itself out, or the internet will give up. It'll become obvious one way or the other how this is going to go. All right. I feel like that's probably enough pen work. Let's get that nip back. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just quickly wipe up anything that's on the tape, because that seems like it's going to stick to my hand and smudge all over the heckin' place. Or at least that's my gut instinct. All right. Back at it. Anything? Anything? There we go. Guys, you know drawing's really fun. I'm just gonna retweet things. Hey, Will, how you doing? Thanks. Yeah, it's coming, eh? It's coming along. Thanks for joining me. I'm just going to retweet my tweet because it's been a little while now. And there's no such thing as being too annoying on Twitter. There probably is, but I'm willing to push the limits. Make sure there's no questions lurking not in the Google thing. Nope. Cool. Back at it. It occurs to me that, like, of all the drawing processes to live stream, like, nib inking seems like maybe the slowest. Especially, like, this sort of thing where it's like, I'm rendering a texture. Hey, that's a pretty good job if you get internet time. Yeah, I've thought about, like, best times to stream. And obviously, I think weekday nights come up a lot as, like, a really good time for streaming. But I need my weekday nights for, like, food and sleep and housework. Seeing my boyfriend, so I have to figure out the balance. So if anybody is at work and they're able to hang out, then awesome. And if anybody else like me is sitting freelancing and they're able to hang out, then awesome. And then maybe someday I'll get my shit together and do, like, an evening stream. What are we at time-wise on this stream? About 40 minutes? It's not too bad. I am going to stop it at an hour. Let's see how far we can get till then. A little nervous with that wing, which is why I've skipped it. Should go back and get that rendered, though. I suppose so, yeah. Everybody in Europe who's having dinner wants to sit and hang out with me while I ink a Gryphon very slowly. Be really cool. All right, Birdwing. Hey, Belle, thanks for joining. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm having fun. This is Gryphon. And this is pretty big, actually. A lot of the freelance work I'm going to be doing on this is going to be smaller because they're all for quarter page pieces. So they should go a little bit faster, just in terms of sheer amount of area to cover. Guys, I'm not super into this texture I'm creating. Just try and act with it. Awesome. Oh, who knows? Okay, I'm gonna do a thing. Rotating this page. Sticking it back down. Can you still see? Yes. Cool. So I have stopped playing music that you guys can hear on these because I'm actually going to try and archive them full length now on my YouTube. And seems like I should stop copyright using other people's music. So I'm sorry for the awkward silence. I've got headphones on. I'm having a great time listening to power metal, but I don't want to archive videos with copyright infringements in them. But yeah. You know, well, I've done Twitch and like it's certainly good and I met some nice people. But it seems to be sort of a different niche than a lot of my work seems to fall into. Which is cool. I like watching things on Twitch a lot. But yeah, I haven't personally had had much success building a community there. Whereas YouTube is pretty nice in that a lot of people who are already sort of part of my community have Google account logins of some sort and are able to get in there and comment without having a new account, which I like. So I think just for me, it's not the best fit. Though I know some people who do amazing stuff on there and have great communities. So not shitting on Twitch. Also, my phone has an app that just auto streams it to my YouTube account. Yeah, well, I think you need to find something that caters specifically to the kind of content you do. I don't know. I see people also streaming on Picarto. I don't know much about it, but that's another one that I see show up a lot. So I'm just going to put on a new playlist for myself. 1 second. I've run out of my shamelessly catchy power metal playlist. Life is pretty hard. If you would like to listen along, I'm going to put on Ghost's newest EP, Pope Star. There we go. All right. Actually feels a little bit more appropriate for this. I don't know why. This is a magical fantasy creature, but it's also a big heckin' Raven Gryphon thing. Somehow that seems cheesy enough to merit Ghost. Yeah, this is definitely something that I'm gonna have to sit and brainstorm lots of different textures and pull up some reference and really see how people make different textures with, a brush and a nib, essentially. 'Cause I'm not sure I'm quite getting it. I'm having fun though. Well, if it's packed full of furry, right, then it might have slightly more open content policies. So, not saying that they're your people, but they might have similar values. Let's see. Feathers, eh? Why even? I have to just go over and do a furry, fluffy part of this creature just to clean my palette, cleanse my palette as someone inking for eternity. Yeah, Ghost is so good. I really recommend them. They have the single from this album on YouTube called Square Hammer. If you don't own a Ghost album and would like to take a sample, it's a great, great song. Oh, heck yes. All right. Let's take a break from the bird wing before my wrist gives out. One of my friends makes these really beautiful custom nib holders, custom turned, and I would really love one that's like twice the thickness at the handle. So gotta figure out message her for that someday, because they're freaking beautiful. If you're interested in one, they're called Mercure pens, like Mercury, but Mercure, Mercure. I really recommend them. They're freaking gorgeous. She'll do them with like a pearl or a crystal or something in the handle, like it's a wand. Oh, so great. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Will. Yeah, I'm definitely sort of like referencing a sort of Victorian or early 20th century kind of like hatching that they might do for like a woodcut or a litho or a lino. For a different freelance job, I've been looking at a lot of Gibson girls. Those sure are well drawn. Holy cow. With, again, like a very fine nib and some really smart design sense. Also, if you look at the artist is Charles Dana Gibson. If you look at his character's face as well, this might interest you. You can see where I think a lot of the Looney Tunes caricature vocabulary comes from. They are really wonderful, and I feel like you can really see it. So I recommend looking them up. Just if you want to laugh. Sitting here being like, Rachel, you don't know how to draw curly hair. You're right. Should have looked that up. Oh well. I'm still having fun, and I think it'll read by the time I'm done. Just trying to give it some dimension. I like that she now looks like she's sort of nestled in the bird. Yeah, Charles Gibson. Charles Dana Gibson. One of the nice things about bird feet is that I follow enough biologists, pet owners, and stuff that I've learned that Feets Friday is a Twitter hashtag you can follow, and it's bird feet. It might not be just bird feet, but the people I follow all have birds and share bird feet, or they photograph wild birds. So I've been looking at some great bird feet. 2 thumbs up, bird feet are great. And real scaly. Are these perfect? No. Will they work? Probably. All right. Guys, I did it. I did the bird half. Still got some feathers to do on the wing, but we're getting there. All right. My wrist is pretty done now. And we are just approaching the hour mark. Oh, look at that. It hasn't even been pointing at the thing. I'm sorry, guys. Seems like my thing has been slowly sliding over to the right, and I haven't followed with the camera. That's what they call it professional. I keep improving at this streaming thing by practicing it. So what I will probably do is be back here streaming this sometime tomorrow as my warm-up as well. And then we'll go in and we'll render those orbs and this girl a little bit further, and obviously the rest of this large, magnificent creature. So my arm will be warmed up for the further inking I'll be doing tomorrow freelance, because I think I've got probably 4 or 5 days of freelance inking ahead of me. I'm also trying to decide what I want to do with the background. I feel like I might go and get something really cheesy, like my gold gouache. It's an option. All right. Thank you so much for joining. Bill, Will, anybody else who's watching along, I really appreciate it. And if you're watching this in the archives, subscribe and you can catch me streaming live, generally in the middle of the weekday, Eastern Standard Time. And again, if you're new to my work, you're going to want to find me on Twitter and Instagram as Portable City, or on Patreon as Portable City. patreon.com/portablecity. And keep an eye out for new work from me, more magical animals, more videos, podcasts, and lots of comics. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great day, and hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye, all.